Hey guys, how are you? Really quick, I just wanted to give you an update to the update. So in the rest of the video was recorded in the middle of December and the construction hadn't yet started on the house. We did lose our house in the hurricane. 40,000 pound tree dropped on it. Actually, it dropped right here on this wall behind me, which you'll be able to see a lot of the damage in the rest of the video. We are now just after the new year. It is currently January 2nd, and as I'm sitting here recording this, and the construction has taken place on the house. It started anyway. It's still very much in the beginning stages, as you can see walking around here, but things are framed in roughly, and I just wanted to give you an update that things are moving in the right direction because the rest of the video was recorded in the middle of December. So now on to the rest of the video. Night of the hurricane, I was mopping up water in the basement until about 3:30 in the morning, and water was coming in places that we'd never had water coming in before. It rained for a couple of days before the hurricane, and it was a tremendous amount of water. And then so I went to bed about 3:30 in the morning, and I was texting my wife the whole night, and her plan was to get up at about 5:30 to go take over mopping the water, because we really didn't want our basement and all of our stuff down there, and it's a finished basement with TV and game console and all that. We didn't want it to get ruined, so we developed this plan to swap out early in the morning. And so she went down there at about 5:30. I came up at about 3:30, got undressed and went to bed. Sometime after she got out of bed and after I went to bed, so she was downstairs in the basement. We have a basement, a main floor, and a second story, which is where we live. At some point around 6:30, 6:45 or so, a 40,000 pound tree fell on our house. It actually came through right behind me here, which is, as you can see with the tarp, it's a massive hole, and I'll show you a little bit more of the damage in a minute. The tree landed on the bed I was sleeping in. So it's by the grace of God, I believe, that I wasn't killed. And if my wife was in the bed, she probably would have been killed. When the tree fell, it hit the strongest part of the house, the peak where the roof and the two sides of the roof come together, and the chimney. And as the tree was falling, it was throwing cinder blocks all over the place. There's actually, it's not there now, but there were actually parts of the one wall where you could see imprints of cinder blocks in the sheetrock. And it was quite intense, actually. When the tree fell, I woke up to the sound, and I guess the sound of the tree hitting the house, as well as sheetrock and cinder blocks and wood snapping and folding and crumbling. And I sat up in the bed just long enough to see the white sheetrock ceiling coming in at me. And I was laying in bed, and I propped up on my elbows, saw that, and then rolled out of the bed before everything fell on the bed. Here is a picture of the bed. You can see that gray stripe there is the gray blanket with the stripes. That's the bed that I was in. You could see the ceiling laying on the bed that I was in, and it was quite traumatizing, actually, and I still kind of see it every so often. It was a 40,000 pound double trunk oak tree, so it had two massive, basically full-size oak trees that the tree people estimated about 40,000 pounds. They had one part of the tree that they had to leave here because their crane couldn't even pick it up, and they were running out of time to get it out of here. I apologize for any terrible sound. The reason why I'm recording this video is because I'm actually not going to SHOT Show now. And I wanted to, in anticipation of this not being able to go, I wanted to at least give you guys some reasons as to why I'm not going to cover the stuff on the floor. And one of the reasons why is because my house has been mostly destroyed, and I apologize for any bad sound because I don't have my microphones anymore. They were plugged in behind me here into the hub where I charge all of my electronics, which was completely destroyed. I apologize for bad sound, but I don't have any microphones or I don't have any lighting equipment. All of that was in this room. My recording studio was actually over there and it's gone. All of my stuff is gone. I basically have my tripod because that was in a different room for a different purpose. I just wanted to give you guys an update. I'm currently living in temporary housing with my wife and my 3 kids and dog and cat. But I just wanted to give everybody an update. I do have a series of videos also coming out. Also, because I'm not going to be going to SHOT Show this year, I have to do something different to keep the algorithm happy. So, a series of videos is going to be basically about what I've learned over the course of this entire event, because I did learn quite a bit. The first thing I'll tell you right now is to have a plan. After I rolled out of my bed, it was crazy. I heard my wife calling to me on the other side of the wall, yelling for the kids to get out of bed. She told me that she thinks a tree just fell in the house, which I was able to confirm. The room was cut in half and I couldn't get to my exit, to get to my family, to get them to safety. So my fire escape plan kicked in, which was, if we can't make it to the exit, to crawl out of the window, get to the porch, and that puts you closer to the ground, or you can jump down and land on one of the vehicles if you need to, because we always tell our kids that having a broken leg is better than dying from a fire or smoke inhalation. So that was the plan. That was always the plan, and I kicked that plan into place. I slid some shorts on. I ran out without a shirt, got the window open, I crawled out the window, and in the middle of the hurricane, I was pretending I was Spider-Man, suctioning myself to the side of the building and hobbling down about 40 feet to the next window. That I could have just climbed in another window because there was another window there, but during the fight or flight response, my mind wasn't working properly, so it went back to what it knew, which was to go all the way down by the driveway. It would have been easier had I just crawled in the next window that opened, but I did make it. I made it all the way down to my daughter's window. We got the window open, I came in, and we all made it to safety. So the first one is to have a plan already set in place that you can fall back on in the case of an emergency. That's basically it. I'll give you a small tour of what's left of my house. So this is my bedroom here. As you can see, is completely destroyed. My air conditioning unit was up here. I apologize for the mess, but you know, this is what happens when a tree falls on your house. Here is my bathroom, and you can see there's a gaping hole in my floor. You can see the bathroom downstairs. This is my personal bathroom, and then the damage just keeps on going. This is one of the areas here in the sheetrock where there was an imprint of a cinder block. Some more hole. There's what's left of my chimney. And the initial construction crew did a pretty good job of buttoning everything up so that it's as good as it can be. There's just plywood in the floor. You can also feel there's a lot of uncertainty in the level of the floor, which is interesting to walk on. It almost feels like you're on the water. The amount of water damage that we had also was quite intense. And up here again was the air conditioning unit when it was pushing down on this rafter or truss or whatever you want to call it. Just a tremendous amount of damage. The tree, as you can see in the pictures, was extended all the way across the length of the house. And then all of this here was damaged by water because we had a tremendous amount of water damage in the house. And then down here, you can see all of the, it might be kind of hard to see, but the trusses are very wavy. They were basically supporting a 40,000 pound tree for several days because we couldn't get the tree crew out right away. And then here's what's left of my fireplace. And you can see there's a significant amount of damage. This is where the tree was a direct impact. We have these buckets out here to help collect water because we still, I mean, it's a tarp, you know. And all three levels have a significant amount of damage. I won't go down to the basement because the lighting is terrible down there, but trust me when I say that the basement is also destroyed. Bare. There's just nothing left anywhere. So this was that hall that we were looking in up top there. Damage to plumbing, and there's just broken wires all over the place. Another important lesson that is probably a good thing to note is that electrical is always a potential problem when the power comes back on. When the fire crew was originally here, they told us you should go cut the power to the main breaker. Cutting the power to the main breaker was a lifesaver because after the power was cut back on for the whole area, there were a few houses that actually burned to the ground. It was actually kind of crazy because you know, the firemen told us to turn the power off, and we thankfully we listened. If we didn't, who knows, the amount of damage may have been much worse than it actually was. The house didn't burn to the ground, it was just a tree. But anyway, just so you all know, not going to SHOT Show. I feel bad about that. I'm going to be missing all of, you know, the people that I usually see out there. But this is more important right now. I got to take care of my family. We are currently still in temporary housing. It's a nice, it's a decent place. It's not what we're used to, but we're all still alive, and I'm not complaining. My kids want to kill each other, but I guess that comes with the territory. So I'll leave it at that. I have quite a few more videos planned for this to help y'all understand what we learned in this whole process. And stay tuned. I'll see you next time.